Welcome. We are the Ministry of the Real Truth New Zealand, and we would like to relay an event that happened in our day today. We ventured out to do the Daughter Small paper delivery job, putting the local paper, named the Central Leader, in letter boxes in our community. And she gets paid a decent amount of money. Okay, so after that, pretty tired, she wanted me to go to this place, supermarket, local supermarket, New World, in Mt.Roskill. People will be familiar with that, New Zealanders who live in Mount Albert, Mt.Roskill, they may have visited there quite a few times. Good deals, etc, etc. So, got her all her junk that teenagers like to eat when they're depressed or not feeling too great. Drinks and all that, chocolate and all that sort of crap. As well as the meat specials and whatever. So, around about 8 o'clock, went outside to pack it into this pulley trolley thing I had. And I had a big trolley, supermarket trolley. I actually had intentions to shoot off with it, right, without this guy that pushes the trolleys back, knowing, because they say don't take the trolleys out of this area, right? So, here's New World here, basically. Come out here, the entrance here, slightly different today. This might be an older picture. Here's a rubbish bin. There's a seat over here somewhere, and about here. So I was packing the trolley here. Noticed the island guy approached a Asian guy that came out here came out of the entrance with out of the supermarket, wearing a cross, right? A Christian cross in his ear. So this guy, I guess he was Christian, this Asian guy, and I thought I heard the word Bible, right? Well, actually, at first I thought he was gathering some money for some charitable foundation or whatever, right? And then I heard the word Bible, so I realised he's probably preaching to this guy about the Bible. So I asked the guy, "Are you a Christian from some denomination?" Right? He says, "No, I'm from a teaching academy. We teach blah blah blah." And then he's proceeded to say, "Yeah, he's a Christian." Right? So it's like, well, that's a bit dodgy. I just asked you if you're a Christian from a denomination, and you just said, "No, I'm from a teaching academy." Okay, so yeah, it's a bit iffy there. Anyway, so I said, well, maybe I'm the guy that you should really talk to, because for years I've been like fanatic, passionate, whatever, driven to go back and study the original, ancient, or very old, sacred, scribal, old tongue, or old language, which is long D language, that the Old Testament scribes and monks in Ur-Hai or Edessa, now modern Turkey, copied. Okay, they copied all the Old Testament books, and then they compiled it into one book, a book of books. And also, I've delved into quite deep the original ancient or very old Galilean Aramaic New Testament, both translated by a native-born Aramaic speaking translator from Pt1b or Mesopotamia in Syria. He has 15 years experience translating these ancient or very old scriptures, because it's a dead language. He stated there are certain root words that he could use to revive that long dead language, and he bought a Bible format, the original manuscripts from the high priest of this original church, Apostolic Orthodox Church of the East, from his high priest, and then he proceeded to translate using the Syriac. Okay, and he possibly finished the New Testament, and then this high priest came back his way and says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I've just finished translating these original manuscripts using the Syriac." And that high priest said, "Why? What for? What did you do that for?" He says, I just finished doing the New Testament." He says, "Why did you do that for?" "Because it's actually wrong." Right? It all originally came from the Tav Ashret, the Assyrian Aramaic, the Lishana Artika, the Cypriot. So the old guy goes, "Oh, damn it, do it all over again. I'll probably pass before I complete it," because he's quite old, about 60 or 70. But he wasn't too worried, because someone else might pick up his work from where he left off, right, and continue it. So, communicating with him via email, I did ask him. I mentioned this in another video. This is a recap, and I says, well, if I can learn that Aramaic, that dead language that you revived, then maybe I can continue your work, help you out. And she says, oh well, that's nice, but it's really, really hard for Westerners to understand that which he had revived. So just trust his translations, right? His Aramaic translations. So corresponding with him for a couple of years, I guess, on and off, through the email and comments under his video, etc., like that. I developed a Eastern mindset, I guess, and understood the idioms, etc. It's like, it just happened like that. I don't know. I guess I prayed for the truth, etc., right, and was given this blessing or this gift, however you want to put it, right. Not boasting here, it's just basically what happened. So, searching all over the net, as I do, found different things on the Aramaic, and he says, oh, well, that's kind of wacky. You find some really funny things, some strange things on the internet in regards to the Aramaic, and we had a little chuckle. Yeah, because I stumbled upon his website, va.com, years and years ago, and the theory of the Aborigine, and I thought it was some guy pulling a prank, young guy, start a conspiracy theory or something, so I laughed it off. And then I happened to come across this translator, and I was telling him about it, and he didn't seem fazed by it, okay? And then I realised he was the actual guy that had created this theory, right? Because when he translated the ancient original Brita, or Genesis in English, when he translated it, he was quite shocked, surprised, that it spoke of a pre-Adamic man, the Neanderthal man, etc., etc. So that's why he did the theory of the Aborigine. We've done videos on that. Okay, so talking to this man, okay, telling him all these things, he goes, oh, that's very interesting. He asked me questions like, what do you think the Old Testament blessings were? How were the people blessed? All that sort of stuff. And I'd gone through it yesterday. It just slipped my mind totally because I have so many things on my mind, this little job, whatever, for the daughter. So, rather than lie, right, or try to guess, right, and get it wrong, I says, well, I'm a bit brain foggy there. So he says, yeah, a lot of people don't understand it, or don't know it. And he says it's all physical. In the Old Testament, it's physical. And then he asked, how do they get blessings in the New Testament? I was like, brain foggy again, brain dead again. Didn't want to lie, right? Bluffed my way through it. And he says, spiritual, right? Okay, but I'm seeing from the old and the new, it's like both spiritual and physical. Okay, and so forth, so forth. So I then presumed to advise him that I asked his friend that was sitting on a seat, Papua New Guinea guy, what Bible he was reading from, and I had a look. Oh, okay, so NIV, and I proceeded to tell them, I have evidence via video for a guy that's done the research that all of your Bible versions, be they NIV, Living Bible, the Amplified version, etc., etc. We're missing out the King James version here. Okay, but there is a new King James version which is coming through that same line, right? So I advised them that this guy Brian had done this video, had 2 columns, and he says these Roman Catholic scribes like Martin Luther, etc., had supposedly that had translated from the Hebrew, the original Hebrew had been translated into the Greek, and then the Greek into the Old Germanic or German, and then the Old Germanic into the Old Latin. These are dead languages, and then later on they get translated into Old English, Middle English, Shakespeare speak, into modern English, etc., etc., by these scribes. And this Brian guy says, we can put the video underneath to show you what he says. We'll give you the link to the 10-minute version because the other one's just too damn long, we reckon. And plus the other one's too damn long. Of that evidence, right? And then you have these Protestants, Wycliffe, Tyndale, etc., in the same column. So we realised they are Protestant, they are Protestant. Yeah, what they were doing was they were protesting against the Mother Church, the Roman Catholic Church. They wanted change, they wanted reform, because the people weren't allowed to learn and read the Latin. That way they could control the people, get them to put money in the coffers or the plates, right? By saying to them, well, your deceased are in purgatory, they're in between heaven and hell, they're seated there, so they need to pay money or do whatever so they can move on. So that's how they duped the people, right? And I'd say, you have to watch the Martin Luther film, that Luther film. Okay, if it's exactly what happened, then they were calling the Virgin Mary names and stuff, and because no one was putting into the coffers, so they put pressure on them, all that sort of stuff. So all of these scribes like Wycliffe, Tyndale, etc., they were Protestants, right? They were protesting against that Mother Church. They wanted reform, they wanted change, so they were still affiliated with the Roman Catholic Church. That's why we believe that Martin Luther wasn't excommunicated. He was still affiliated with the Roman Church. We'd have to look at the history and establish the facts, look at the evidence to see if he actually was excommunicated. But his friends that rebelled against the Roman Catholic Church, a couple of them, they were burnt at the stake, etc., etc. But when this guy Luther spoke out, nothing like that happened to him. And then he goes and writes a book, The Jews Are Liars, so it gets labelled an anti-Semite, etc., etc. Right? So me and this guy are still talking, and I'm pointing out to him that, on the right-hand column, there's the Textus Receptus. Okay? He said, where's the Textus Receptus? There's nothing in this right column, or this other Greek version, right? Maybe the original Greek or something like that. But he's saying, where's that? Why haven't they indicated that? This American Bible Society, right? Okay. Textus Receptus means received text. It's Latin, right? Textus Receptus is Latin. It's not Greek. It means received text. So he says, where the hell is, So he's saying that the American Bible Society, etc., etc., are saying this, they're saying that, and he's stating that it's all lies. It's all corrupted, it's all lies, right? Which the American Bible Society is putting out there through these new rewritten, revised, re-edited translations. These copies, right? Okay, your NIV, your Living Bible, your Good News, your Amplified Bible, your ESV, RSV, etc., etc. Even your New King James Bible, your NIV, any new international, your new international version, etc., etc. It's all coming from that Roman Catholic Church section. Okay, so what people are preaching out there is from these Americanized Bible versions put out by this American Bible Society, which all leads back to the Roman Catholic translations, right? So people will say, oh, it's from the Greek, it's originated from the Greek. It's not from the original Hebrew, Aramaic, or Koine Greek. Okay, possibly. What we found was, through our research, is that you have when they state it's from the original ancient or very old Hebrew, it's actually not. The Hebrew today is Israeli Hebrew. Okay, it's modernized, and then you have the Aramaic, which is modernized. Okay, it's the Syriac, which is the derivative, and then the Greek is probably modern or a Latinized form of Greek. So he suggested to this guy